Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2 Cents Tuesdays with Tay. That's me. I'm your anchor host and everything else in between. Coming up tonight on Tay's TV, I'm talking about, obviously, the big entertainment topic of the week, the Super Bowl. And I'm going to look into the Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively case and what that's all about and how it cost Blake her seat at the Super Bowl with Tay. That's all coming up right now on Tay's TV.
This episode of Tay's TV is sponsored by Dakota Fluid Motion in Berthold. Dakota Fluid Motion is the top choice for industrial, oil field, and municipal pump sales and repair. Dakota Fluid Motion has job openings as well. If you're interested in their services or a career, you can contact them by heading to their website, call 701-453-3270, or email them at the email seen on your screen. Dakota Fluid Motion.
So, no big surprise, but I did not tune into the Super Bowl Sunday night. I was probably one out of one American that didn't tune in. However, I never feel like I miss out on events like this because I can always rely on good old social media to keep me informed. So, here's what I do know about Super Bowl 58, I think it is. I don't even know the number, but what I do know is that the Eagles won. My best friend Dave is a huge Eagles fan, so he was pretty happy, and I imagine that every Eagles fan was pretty hungover Monday morning. While most people were happy about how the Super Bowl turned out, people in Kansas City were not. Not only did the Chiefs lose, but Taylor Swift lost as well. And here's the big surprise for maybe some of you. I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. I've always been more of a Carrie girl myself. However, I don't know if she deserves to be booed by a crowd full of people, but I had to wonder if maybe it's the person that she's with, not maybe herself in specific. I don't know Ice Spice or her music, so maybe that was the case, but I love how innocent Tay acts and it's like, what's going on? Oh, well, they're booing you. That's what's going on, Taylor. So I also know that a lot of middle-aged men were pretty mad about the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. Now, I'm not here to insult anyone's taste in music, but rather educate them instead. I did watch clips of the show, and granted, yes, he's a little hard to understand, especially if you're a person like me who needs closed captions to hear about anything. However, the great thing about Kendrick and why he won 5 Grammys this year out of 22 total is that he's real. I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, maybe much different than what people peg me out to, but I've listened to Kendrick since way back in the day of my old Pontiac 2000 Grand Am that had pink leopard seat covers and a 12-inch subwoofer in the trunk. So you could hear me coming from miles away, and I loved listening to Kendrick. Now, the other thing that you must know about me before I get into this is that I've had a little bit of a rough life. I know things about life that most women my age don't know, and I never would wish it upon them. I say this because if you're a true listener of Kendrick, you know that his lyrics are deep, and they have a deep meaning. That's why I've always loved him amongst other underground rappers like Hopsin or NF. Their lyrics have meaning. If these men who are complaining about his show would actually just listen to his lyrics, they might actually find that they agree with him more than anything. Now, he demonstrated a lot of symbolism in his halftime show. Obviously, for starters, his dancers were dressed in all red, white, and blue, symbolizing America. He came out saying, right guy, wrong time. He is the right guy to put in the spotlight, however, he is unsure if everyone can handle it. His song, Not Like Us, was performed, and I just gotta say, I love how he looked at the camera, straight at Drake, and dissed him to his face. I just love that. Now, to talk about this song of his, Not Like Us, it talks about the corruption in Hollywood and how Drake may have a connection to Diddy and how he's an alleged pedophile himself. So Kendrick is the right person to bring a lot of this stuff to light, but clearly it was the wrong time because people are not receiving his message. So again, he's calling out all the crap that's going on in Hollywood right now. Those same middle-aged men that are complaining about his show are probably also mad about the stuff that's going on in Hollywood as well. So again, they probably agree way more than they even know. There was also this Uncle Sam character in the show, and the symbolism with this was pretty obvious. It's talking about a divided nation. I've been saying this for a while. A divided nation is what? A weak nation. And right now, we're weak because everyone's stuck in their own ways. The whole reason we even created different political parties was to create some sort of equalism, where we could work together to solve a problem. However, we can't do that anymore. Everything's just too one-sided. All of this being said, if you didn't like the halftime show, you probably just didn't understand it. So I hope I helped educate in some sort of way. Everyone has their own taste in music, so not dissing that, but there is a reason that Kendrick is so popular with the younger generations. Again, he is real. We listen to the words that are being spoken. It's a different kind of art. And just remember, years ago when people used to hate rock music, I mean, now look at it. Now it's classic rock. So I just guarantee that it's just the way that the world is turning generationally. And you can either hop on board and ride along with it or choose to hate it. So it's up to you. It's your choice. But I love how Kendrick really just called out that weirdo Drake, because I honestly have always had an ick vibe from Drake. I've had friends who are big fans of him, and I've always been like, ew, even before this song came out. There's something about him that just gives me some bad vibes. So I don't know what it is about him, but okay, this is the real reason why we're here. Did you notice that Taylor also had one less guest this year at the Super Bowl compared to last year? Blake, where you at, girl? Well, I'm guessing she lost her invite because of this whole mess going on with Justin Baldoni. She even tried bringing Tay into it as well. So let's just get into this whole ordeal. I've done my research and it's a lot. So let's just get into it. Blake and Justin filmed a movie together recently called It Ends With Us. Though the film was a box office success, bringing in around $350 million, behind the scenes apparently was not so great. Blake accused her co-star Justin of sexual harassment in December and filed a legal complaint against him. However, Baldoni disagrees with her complaints and is filing a counterclaim for defamation. So there's this whole legal feud going on right now. And I gotta say, I used to be a really big fan of Blake Lively, but I just don't know now. There's been a lot of media that have been shedding her in some pretty bad light, painting her to be a mean girl, but gotta wonder if it's because of this. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. But I do get really weird mean girl vibes off of her. Speaking of, she was recently at a red carpet event that was supposed to be in support of her husband's gin company and promotion of her new healthcare brand. Now, this was all great and dandy, but apparently the press were told to keep the questions lighthearted, which I don't know many journalists that like being told what they can and cannot ask, but I would have asked even more hardball questions if I was told that. Just saying, I don't like being censored whatsoever, but Miss Lively did make a remark that sparked a lot of backlash on social media. She said, quote, "You are so much more than a survivor or victim," unquote. A little bit about that movie that they filmed together. It was about a domestic abuse victim and how she survived. Now, remind you that this event that they're at, that she made this quote at, is for her healthcare brand and Ryan's gin company. Yet you're literally victimizing victims for your benefit. So I don't like that she's trying to promote things by victimizing people and making it for her own benefit. Aside from that, when at the red carpet premiere for their movie, the co-stars were not walking the carpet together, and that clearly sparked a lot of questions as well. But again, Blake's team had directed press to not ask questions about Justin. Again, I'd ask all the questions about Justin, because why are you telling me that? Where is he? What's going on here? So let's get to the real legal complaint here. Blake reported that Justin and CEO of Wayfair, Jemmy Keith, had supposedly repeatedly sexually harassed her and displayed other disturbing behavior. Some other female castmates had also spoken up about this behavior as well. And it also talks about how there was an alleged meeting with Blake, Justin, and other people involved with the film to talk about the hostile work environment on set, and apparently her husband Ryan was there as well. And at this meeting, the CEO, Mr. Heath, and Mr. Baldoni agreed to, quote, make no more descriptions of their own genitalia and required a coordinator on set at all times when Lively was in scenes with Justin, and that there were to be no other people on set when she was in nude scenes as well. Which, honestly, I don't know if any of this is true or not, but that part to me does make sense. I mean, I wouldn't want somebody else in the room either, you know, when you're filming these intimate scenes. So apparently they had also made remarks to Lively talking about their porn addiction. So yeah, ew, I'd feel very uncomfortable as well. However, apparently after this meeting happened, Lively alleges that Baldoni's team attacked her in a coordinated and well-financed retaliation plan. So this is why I'm talking about how she's been recently being painted as a mean girl in the media. Makes me think if it was his team that did this, because apparently they were posting stuff about her online that did allegedly purposely paint her in a bad light. So thus the legal battle started. Lively obviously has some good lawyers that are trying to protect her from Baldoni as she comes out with the alleged truth about him. She's fearing that her allegations are going to come back on her in some way because of his team. So yeah, this is all very yikes to me, but I'm not done yet. I'll try to keep the rest really short and simple here. But Baldoni's lawyer said that it's a shame that Lively's team would make such false allegations against Justin and Wayfarer Studios. Now get this, Baldoni was awarded a Women's Solidarity Honor by Vital Voices in December. Vital Voices is a global nonprofit that empowers women. But because of these allegations against him, they rescinded the award. So that's a big yikes, yes. But now Baldoni's lawyers filed a libel lawsuit against the New York Times for $250 million because basically they were one-sided with their reporting and just going with what Lively was saying. So yeah, that's a big yikes for them because this is why a journalist gets both sides of the story, always. Then in January, Baldoni's team filed a lawsuit against Lively and her husband, Ryan, for civil extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. His lawyers are saying that she's making these accusations for, quote, heinously selfish reasons, unquote. Then, in response to that, her team said that it was just another chapter in an abuser's playbook. Big yikes. But it's just getting better. In January, Baldoni released some outtakes of a romantic scene from that movie as evidence that her claims against him are false. However, her team said that any woman could see that she was discomforted in these scenes as he leaned in toward her repeatedly, trying to kiss her without consent. Now, I haven't seen these outtakes, but I'd really like to because, yes, body language usually does speak volumes, people. So, yeah, I don't know. But now, their first pretrial court hearing was on the 3rd of February, and basically, it was just both sides bad-mouthing one another in court, which could be pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie, but the judge said that the rest of the case is litigated to the press, forbidding each side to speak publicly about the trial. So the judge said that they've already given the public enough to feast upon and that they're trying to go forward with the trial date in March so that jurors can remain unprejudiced in this case. However, I think they're already going to have issues finding people like that. But is this why Tay didn't invite Blake to the Super Bowl? Well, turns out that's a yes, because apparently Blake's tried to bring Tay into all of this, claiming that Blake would use her friendship with Tay to threaten Justin into changing the script of the movie. She was claiming herself to be like Khaleesi from the Game of Thrones and that she has a bunch of dragons around her to protect her. Another big yikes. So Tay didn't appreciate being dragged into all of this mess, and she says she just wants to stay out of the drama as much as possible, which I can't say I blame her with that. But again, it just gives me weird vibes with Blake, because why would you use your friends as a weapon? I mean, they're people, not dragons, Blake. So I don't know, it just gives me weird vibes. But I want to see what you guys think. So go ahead and let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this whole mess. I don't know which side to believe. I don't know if I believe her or him, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and also let me know what kind of topic you want me to cover next week on 2 Cents Tuesdays with Tay. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Bye!
This episode of Taste TV is sponsored by Dakota Fluid Motion in Berthold. Dakota Fluid Motion is the top choice for industrial, oil field, and municipal pump sales and repair. Dakota Fluid Motion has job openings as well. If you're interested in their services or a career, you can contact them by heading to their website, call 701-453-3270, or email them at the email seen on your screen. Dakota Fluid Motion.